Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Millennial Smark, and I'm back at it again with another video. Timestamps are down in the description box below if you want to go directly into the Smackdown review, but give me a chance to cook for a second, because I got a couple things on my mind that I'm not quite understanding. So, as I said many times in the past, the double standards in the IWC, they're so prevalent and they're so obvious. I said it once, and I'll say it again. Most of these people who talk about professional wrestling in the IWC sphere, half of them, they can be edgy, they can be on my side, they can like dark humor, they can say whatever they want to say and they get chastised for it, right? But the people who typically chastise them, the people who consistently say in their mind that they're the good ones and they're the virtuous ones, it's all just a double standard in the end of the day. Take this for a second. So personally, I got nothing against the guy. Do whatever you want to do, live life the way you want to live life. I got nothing against the LGBTQ, whatever community. I got nothing against the gays. I got nothing against the lesbians. I got nothing against the bis. I got nothing against any of them people, all right? Live life how you want to live your life. I got nothing against you. I don't care. Just leave the children alone and stop forcing me to fucking, I don't know, abide by your ideological position. Outside of that, do whatever you want to fucking do. Put your dick in whatever booty hole you want to put your dick in. I don't give a fuck. But tell me why, when you get something like this and you see Buddy on the thumbnail, I left him on the thumbnail clear as day for an absolute fucking reason, and I censored it for a reason. Tell me why, when something like that is present, we get to plaster that around and we say to ourselves, well, I mean, shit, anybody who doesn't want to see this, well, they're a problem. They're a homophobe, right? They're a bigot. All these other non-fucking consistent things in regards to what you see in professional wrestling, because 9 times out of 10, most people who watch professional wrestling are grown men. Now, like I said, if you happen to be on that side, you like to be a little bit of a koosie, then hey, do you, bruh? I don't give a fuck what you do with your life. But I love how when this shit is present, it's, well, I mean, clearly you're a bigot if you were to go after the dude as far as, you know, chastising him by his sexual decisions or whatever the case may be. Like I said, I don't have a problem with that. But look, this is the picture used in order to highlight Buddy in regards to going to the WWE ID program and shit like that, right? So what the fuck is the big deal about having naked women on television? See, I get called out all the time as far as being, you know, you a sexist. You macho, oh, you ain't nothing more than a misogynist, all these other claims, bruh, right? But you get to put Buddy like this on television. What the fuck do you call that, huh? What the fuck do you call that? First off, I don't know, call me crazy. I think most gay people will look at that and think to themselves that you stereotyping them, because now all motherfuckers who happen to be gay act like that. Most gay people are normal. Most gay people just want to live their lives and they don't want to be put into any kind of position to be an icon or whatever. They just want to live their lives no different than how another motherfucker want to live their life, right? So tell me why you using that photo right there, huh? Tell me why this dude has to be the stereotypical person in order to be in the position as far as the limelight is considered when he's clearly being sexualized. But when I say something about the women, and my example typically be something along the lines of, oh, well, they can put themselves on Instagram, they can post pictures all over the place as far as social media is considered. I'm just saying, take what you do on social media and put it on television. Oh, it's a big fucking deal. See, that's what I mean by the double standards, bro. That's what I mean by the politics these motherfuckers want to play. You know, they pick and choose what they want to go after to be virtuous about. I said it once and I'll say it again. And the sad part about it is, I guarantee you not one motherfucker can contend what the fuck I'm saying. They see what the fuck I say. And mind you, I won't be I promise you, I won't be the only person to say this. I guarantee you Most people in the casual audience, the most casual viewing fan, will say the same thing. My position is put the women on television to be sexualized like they do on Instagram and on any other social media platform in order to get more time and get these women more popular, more eyes on the product, to get more wrestlers over, including more women. That's what I like to say. That's what I think. That's how I think. But that makes you sexist. That makes you a misogynist. But you get to put a motherfucker like this on television, and clearly, going off the photo, this is the presentation that you would like to see on television, right? This is the presentation that got him over. This is the presentation that got eyes on him, right? So why is it good for this, but it's not good for that? Because it's politics, bro. I told you, these are nothing but wrestling activists in the end of the day. They pick and choose what to be virtuous about, man. Bunch of bullshit, bro. Let me say it for the fourth time. I ain't got no problem with Buddy. If he wants to act like this, do it, homie. I don't care. I got a remote control. I'll turn my TV till the chicks come back on TV. And for the rest of the viewing audience who wants to see that, they got the option. But my thing is, why not both? Why does it have to be one or the other? And if I even have to use the same logic as to why I want this person on television versus the other person on television, why does one have to be bigot by suggesting that I'll just turn the TV till, the women come back on? But when I want the women on TV, for the same exact reason you are putting this person on television, you claim for it to be opportunity. Well, that's my reasoning too. Then, of course, for this situation, you're a bigot for it. It's bullshit, bruh. Straight classic bullshit. Double standard, bruh. One is sexualized, but the other isn't. Look at the photo, bruh. Come on, man. All right, bet. That's the game they want to play, though, man. It is what it is, man. Let's get into the Smackdown review. I just seen that post. That shit triggered me, bro. Get the fuck out of here. Wrestling activists all day, bro. Get these people out of the fucking wrestling sphere as quick as possible. They're the biggest detriment when it comes to professional wrestling overall. These people right here, this right here is the reason why we have professional wrestling in the situation that we have right now. They ain't offended by shit. They pick and choose what to be offended by. And then they try to play the game, the ad hominem game, cry bullying, pretend that you are the problem, when in reality, this is even a situation because they made it a situation. I bet. It is what it is, though. Let's get into the Smackdown review. All right, while they're covering the women's triple threat match in the first round tournament for the Women's United States Championship, mouthful for you right there. We'll get to that in a minute. They're about to go on commercial break before we actually get to that match. B-Fab apparently is going to wrestle, so that should be interesting, along with Candice LeRae and Bayley. Can I just say also, Bayley's theme song, bro, the more and more I hear it, the more and more I fucking hated it. Like, I hated it to begin with, but I swear I'm starting to loathe it more and more and more. Is it just me, or when she comes out to the ring, it just, I don't know, maybe it's just the timing of the theme that irritates the shit out of me, but man, the way it starts and then she comes out to the ring celebrating, like in the midst of the building up till it gets to the actual instruments playing. I don't know. I hate how her theme song, I don't know, like it's weird. It's really, really weird how her theme song goes along with the motion of her entrance. I don't know. It just feels really, really weird. Nevertheless, though, we did have this opener with Cody Rhodes coming out to the ring. He opens it up, has the championship on the shoulders, and I gotta tell you, I hate when wrestlers do this. I get it. You got to get your shit in. The crowd going, whoa, all that other gimmicky bullshit. I get it. But, like, I hate when wrestlers, it's the same feeling I get when I see people run out to the ring in interference and, the theme song is playing when they have to run out to make a serious, save, or if they want to do a beatdown. I know why they do it. It's to pop the audience. I get it. But it's like, when you're about to put yourself in a serious situation, it kind of takes away from it. And I always felt this way even when I was a kid. Maybe not so much when I was a kid because I never really thought about it all too much. But I felt like I did think about it at least once or twice when I was a kid. But like, I'll give you an example. Cody's coming out, right? And he has all this, he's active, he's ready. Again, he's feeling the energy from the crowd, all those fucking cliches, and he starts to get serious all of a sudden. He bows his head. He looks up to the camera. I can't tell whether or not he has eyebrows. And he starts to get all serious. And it's like, bro, you were just like, engaging with the audience and doing the whole whoa bullshit. Like, what, like, how do you swap from that? I'm telling you, bro, wrestlers are sociopaths, bro. If it's not them being able to jump from one energy to the next, if it's not them doing face turns and heel turns and heel turns and face turns, if it's not them relying on one single weapon like a steel chair rather than actually grabbing any other weapon in the arena, these people, I don't know if they're schizophrenic, I don't know if they're sociopaths, I don't know what the hell is going on with wrestlers' behaviors when they act like this. It's like you don't have to act like a default sim character in the video game, bruh. Nevertheless, though, he starts to talk about Kevin Owens, how Kevin Owens broke Randy Orton's neck, how his cervical spine is now fractured and it coincides with his back injury that he's been going through for the past year and a half. Kevin Owens crossed the line, and it's a line no one crosses when Cody Rhodes is around, brother. And he wants Kevin Owens. He calls him out again. Out comes Nick Aldis. He tells Cody, look, Cody, I understand what you're going through right now. Kevin Owens crossed the line. I know you said that already, but let me repeat you regardless, okay? He crossed the line, and, I can't have you going after him. I had to put him on leave, okay? This is an administration issue, okay? Once we get that all cleared up, then we can do what we have to do in order to get him and you in the same vicinity. But until then, brother, I can't do that. And of course, Cody Rhodes, he puts on a stellar performance. I mean, he cuts a promo and he tells Nick Aldis, Nick, underneath that jacket is a wrestler. You're still a wrestler. What would you do if you were in my shoes, brother? What would you do? All right, I had to sit in the back of that ambulance with Randy Orton. I had to call his family, telling me whether or not he knows he's going to be able to wrestle again. How would you feel knowing that you'd have to tell them it was your fault? Because Kevin Owens said it was your fault, so therefore it happens to be your fault. Nick, you are just like me. You are a wrestler. You got to let me have him, because one way or another, I'm going to get my hands on it. Either A, I go to his house, I ring his doorbell, and I beat the shit out of him in his front yard. Or B, you bring him into the ring, and I get a piece of him inside of the ring. Because one way or another, this is going to happen. And I think you should probably pick the easier path that doesn't include the face of your company, your world champion, pretty much using the image of WWE on the back of my shoulders, beating the shit out of one of the other wrestlers that happen to be on the same brand as me, because apparently that never happens in professional wrestling. Only this one time. And Cody Rhodes' imaginary land. And Nick Aldis is sitting there and he's contemplating. And Cody's like, you know what? I'm gonna let you sit there and I'm gonna let you put your finger on your chin and rub it a couple of times until you get some friction started and the light bulb finally flickers in your head from the friction started, okay? And then you come to me when you tell me what that light bulb pretty much symbolizes. Until then, buddy, oh, pow, pow, buddy, pow, pow, jump, jump, pow, pow. I will see you, I would think, later on tonight. The way he actually described it, it kind of presumes that he's going to talk about this later on tonight. So hopefully we get to that later on tonight. And like I said, for the most part, well, I didn't say that. Like I said, what the fuck did I say? I'm saying it now, okay? It was a fine promo. Nice way to kick off the show. I mean, it kind of breaks up the monotony of having the opening match being a fucking 5, 10, 15 minute fucking kick out fest. Oh wait, wrong company. Nevertheless, though, I liked it. Sets the pace for tonight. I want to see where they go to. I want to see where they're going to go with tonight. Speaking of where they're going to go with tonight, as far as actual story being developed, actually, hang on for a second. Sorry, I had to hear Sasha Banks' theme song. I'm sorry. Oh, fuck. Felicia's theme song. Oh, wait, no. What's the girls with the braids from Friday? Felicia's the bass head, right? Now remember, Craig, write it down, take a picture. I don't give a fuck. And that's Felicia, right? No, the girl with the braids, right? Who's like, the one who was sitting in the bed with the guy that no one ever pays attention to whenever she calls Craig, and then talks about Craig cheating on her with you ain't got to lie, Craig, you ain't got to lie, whatever her name is. Okay, I said this once and I'll say it again. Take her, combine Sasha Banks, you get BFAP. Had to hear her theme song to see whether or not it was good. Well, I mean, she's black, so therefore she has a rap theme song, so therefore automatically it's not good because it's going to be a rap theme song from 2024, and that automatically makes it terrible. Nevertheless, though, I want to go back to what I was talking about, okay? Not the Cody Rhodes stuff. We're past that, okay? Jimmy Uso, Jay Uso, they walk down. Well, actually, I think it was Jimmy. I take that back. Jimmy walks down the corridor. He meets up with Jay and Sammy. He's a little bit still distant from Sammy, okay, but he had five his brother, okay, and they're pretty much going over a plan. They did make note that Roman Reigns is going to be here later on tonight, so that's a good thing. Can't wait to see that. That's actually a pretty good acknowledgement. Awesome. So we can expect Roman tonight. And they made note of the fact that they're going to look for a fifth member. Now, I'm very curious who that fifth member is going to be. I think they're kind of like, I don't know, being a little bit overzealous. You don't have to have, I mean, I get it, but like, I don't know, like I kind of felt like this is fine right here. You got the core members of the OTC tribe, you know, the original bloodline, and you got the 4 guys right now in the new bloodline. I don't see why you gotta, you know, overstep and you gotta have a 5th member, but you know, okay, it creates a bit of intrigue in the show tonight, so we'll see who they're gonna pick. Apparently Semi says that he might have in mind who he can pick as a 5th member. We know it's not going to be Kevin, but it'd be funny if he does go try to look for Kevin, but we'll see where it goes tonight. But apparently there are going to be 5 members on each team going into WarGames. Again, don't really see the necessity of that, but that's apparently what they want to do. So we'll follow up that with tongue twisted. We'll follow up that with that later on tonight. With that being said, let's look at this triple threat match and see what B-Fab can do, because what I'm looking at on television right now, not so bueno, but time will tell. Let me give her a chance. All right, be right back. Okay, so LA Knight has the championship open challenge for the United States Championship match coming up next in the United States of America. It's coming up next. I promise you, it's going to be in America. If it's not going to be in America, then why the hell is it going to be United States Championship open challenge on American soil? I mean, come on, it makes no sense. It's the United States Championship, so therefore it should be defended on American soil. Okay, you get the gist. Okay, I'm running this joke into the fucking ground. Let's talk about another joke, B-Fab. Okay, so it's pretty clear, and I'm not going to dedicate too much time to this, right? But I really was curious as to how her training was coming along. How long has B-Fab been on the roster now for WWE and like in general? Probably like a good 4 or 5 years now, right? I mean, the first time I seen her, obviously, that's when Swerve Strickland was still in the company. Yeah, it goes back that far. Let's say around 2019, 2020-ish, around that. Day-ish, one-ish, what? Oh, okay, whatever. So, she's terrible. She's absolute dog shit. And look, we get it. In the end of the day, she's still green. She still has time to train. This is her first, I mean, from my experience, I don't know, maybe you guys seen her wrestle on NXT, but for me, this is the first time I've ever seen her wrestle. And 2 things. One, she's very slow paced. Okay. Her moves have no impact to it whatsoever. Clearly, she's uncoordinated as fuck. It was pretty fucking obvious throughout the match. Candice LeRae and Bayley were coaching her through certain spots. That roll-up spot with her and Candice was absolutely fucking atrocious. Like I said, it was pretty clear that Bayley and Candice were coaching her throughout especially Bayley. You know, Bayley clear as day before that double clothesline, her patting, you know, her on the back, telling her to get ready for the spot, you know, them setting up for the Tower of Doom spot, and her clearly looking over her shoulder to call her over. I seen another spot with Candice LeRae, before she even set up for the Lion Salt, telling her to get into the correct position when she did that ugly ass fall away slam. They were coaching her through the match. That was fucking obvious. And like I said, shit happens. Okay, this is her first outing. I'm not gonna hold her to a standard like she's fucking Kurt Angle or something. That'd be retarded. But going off of a first impression, she needs to train some more. She needs more training. She was not television ready. I think she should act. Here's my thing. You know, I don't see why she can't be a manager for the Street Profits or the Valet or whatever the fuck you want to call them, and still have her go down to, like, say, NXT and have a couple of matches. I think that's where she belongs right now. She needs to wrestle some more on NXT, okay? She needs to go back into the Performance Center, and that needs to be her full-time job, because what she did in this match was absolutely dog shit and absolutely atrocious. But once again, just stating, it happens. All right, Trish Stratus was absolutely fucking garbage in the ring at one point also, and she became one of the greatest. To be fair, she is kind of overrated in the ring also, but you know, I'm not going to say she's overrated. I'm not going to say that. For her time, she was a good wrestler. And even then, you know, Trish came back and she fit in pretty well. I mean, that steel cage match she had with Becky Lynch was fucking awesome last year. So, you know, yeah, I'll say that. You know, yeah, she can end up being garbage right now. And who knows, 5 or 6, 7 years from now, she could be one of the greatest in-ring performers of all time. Give her time. But yeah, that match is absolutely atrocious. And Bayley did win the match, as expected, when you see the competitors. And then I look at the next bracket. I think it said Blair Davenport, Chelsea Green, and Bianca Belair. So there's a possibility we're going to get Bianca and Bayley in the semifinals. We'll see how that's going to play out. I think that's weird that you have 2 of the women who, you know, one was at WrestleMania last year. I mean, also a WrestleMania main eventer, wrestling the person who was at WrestleMania this year winning the championship belt, now wrestling for the mid-card championship. Just shows you, you know, how easily recyclable these wrestlers are. I mean, right? For any given position for the most part, right? Like CM Punk likes to say, you know, you're just a spoke on the wheel. But like I said, Billy won the match. She ended up hitting a roll up on B-Fab in order to pick up the win. So she's going to continue on to this tournament with the rest of the women in these little random triple threat matches. We'll get to that as the weeks go on when we build up the Saturday night main event, which I will, by the way, be doing a review for also, if you're curious. And yeah, continuing on with the show, I see The Rock on Jimmy Fallon, anything that, or Jimmy Kimmel. I kind of mixed them up too. I mean, I don't know, two liberal talk show hosts at nighttime. Oh man, I mean, they kind of just run the gamut, right? With that being said, though, continuing on with the show, LA Knight's coming up next, so let's see what the fuck he's gonna do. All right, more of that linear storytelling I was talking about. So, okay, they're following up on it. Sami Zayn said that because backstage it looked like he was trying to court LA Knight in order to, you know, get that fifth member, but apparently that pretty much fell through, and apparently it looks like LA Knight got his hands a little bit more preoccupied. So that fell through, and Sami Zayn just came back reporting to the Usos stating that, yeah, that didn't work out all too well. The Usos are worried. Sami Zayn is worried, but Roman Reigns is in his locker room and looks like they're going to get together to come up with a little plan to see what's going to happen going forward. So, again, I love the linear storytelling. We'll follow up with that later on tonight, along with hopefully more updates on the Cody Rhodes situation. But let's get to the LA Knight stuff, right? And actually, I should talk about this also. You know, B-Fab, she was backstage and, you know, she was confronted by Piper Niven and Chelsea Green, and they were just making fun of her essentially before Mia Yim showed up and pretty much told them to skedaddle with her little kendo stick, because I guess that's her gimmick now. She's hardcore, super hardcore. She's so hardcore. She's hardcore Mia Yim. I love how I was comparing B-Fab to Fridays also, and I love how the camera was fading away and Mia Yim was trying to encourage B-Fab, and she does the whole little, you win some, you lose some, but you live. And the camera cuts, I swear to God, bro. So I'm not the only one. Yes, she looks like the girl from Fridays, bro. Mia Yim went full John Witherspoon. She went full Pops. Now put up your dukes, son. Put up your dukes. That's right. You win some, you lose some, but you live. You live to fight another day. See, I'm not the only one who thought the same thing. Nevertheless, though, they cut to LA Knight. He's in the ring. He's offering an open challenge. And, you know, he starts to do the whole little, I've been around the world and yeah, I can't find my baby. Now, I mean, I can sit here and I can say that he was quoting, you know, Biggie and Mace and the Diddler, but, you know, it could be a situation where, you know, he was most likely quoting Lisa Stansfield, but let's just pretend he was quoting Biggie, okay? Out comes Legado del Fantasma, which is weird because I completely forgot that they existed, no different than I completely forgot that LA Knight was the United States champion. Nevertheless, though, you know, you got this little boring ass back and forth between LA Knight and Santos Escobar, you know, making these corny ass jokes. I mean, you got Michael Cole pretty much shooting and laughing at them. Not laughing with them, laughing at them. Really, he was laughing at Santos Escobar, but I was laughing at both of them. And then you had Humberto Carrillo. I mean, he is, speaking of Diddy, bro, he is eyeing the fuck out that title. And I'm looking at him eyeing the title, but I'm not thinking much of it. Like, I'm just thinking to myself, oh, he's just doing it for the sake of doing it. But it is playing up into something. LA Knight pretty much denied Santos Escobar's request to get a championship title shot, and he instead gave the title opportunity to Humberto Carrillo. They had a pretty boring match. LA Knight won the match, and while they were leaving the ring, out comes Shinsuke Nakamura, talking about people being forgotten, bro. I forgot about Legado del Fantasma. I forgot LA Knight was the champion. I forgot Santos Escobar was still hired by WWE. He's out coming out looking like Kenzo Suzuki. He kicks him in the face, and now he's wearing this whole samurai getup. I don't know. Look, every time, it feels like every other goddamn appearance from Shinsuke Nakamura, he's trying something new. I like Shinsuke. Hopefully this sticks. I don't know. We'll see how it goes going forward, but apparently he looks like he's going to be the next challenger for LA Knight's United States Championship. Wouldn't be shocked if he actually won the belt too, but again, we'll see how it goes. Again, every other goddamn month, Shinsuke Nakamura is going through a new transformation. Give it a shot. We'll give it a chance. But with that being said, continuing on with Smackdown. Okay, let's go. Okay, this segment kicked so much fucking ass. And it's pretty obvious where they're gonna go with this when Jay kept saying make the call. It took me a minute to put two and two together. I thought for a second they were like make the call and You know, maybe it's going to be someone that's going to be a little bit out of the box. You know, I heard Lance Anoa'i, I heard that he signed, although I could be wrong. I heard the tall guy who's a part of the Anoa'i family, I forgot his name, I heard he's involved, but I don't think they're going to go that deep. They brought Bronson Reed inside here, so it's pretty obvious where they're going to go with this. So, damn, I kind of ruined the whole little fucking secret, right? But you guys seen this, you know Bronson Reed already fucking showed up. But it kicked off, essentially, right, with Roman Reigns in the locker room, right? And you have all the guys huddled up. They're trying to go over the plan as far as what they want to do. Jay kept saying, and Semi kept saying also, and along with Jimmy, maybe we should make that call because we have no plan. We don't know what to do. We tried to go around Raw to talk to whoever we needed to talk to get whoever we needed to get, and we couldn't get them. In the midst of them talking, Roman Reigns, you know, he gets a pop, he sits down, and they're trying to explain this to him. Out comes the new bloodline, right? And you can see them in the monitor inside the locker room. They see them come out to the ring, so the OG, they go out to the arena too. They go meet them. While they're in the ring, Solo does his whole little acknowledge me gimmick. The OG bloodline comes out. They don't mince any words. They get in the ring and they start to brawl. They're all beating the shit out of each other. It looks like the OG bloodline has the upper hand for a little bit. And Roman's inside the ring by himself. It's him facing off with Jacob Fatu, which that needs to be your WrestleMania match. Now that, I mean, it's still kind of unconfirmed what Rock is going to do. I don't know. But if Rock can't make it, hey, I'm all for Roman versus Jacob Fatu. That match needs to happen. If not at WrestleMania, I would love to get that match at the Royal Rumble. But we'll get there when we get there. While they were battling and doing all this stuff, out comes Bronson Reed. And he attacks them, right? He attacks the OG bloodline, pretty much confirming that he's going to be the fifth guy for the WarGames match. I still think it's unnecessary, but hey, it is what it is. This segment kicked so much ass. You know, Bronson Reed looks like a fucking main eventer. And not to mention, like, yeah, Bronson Reed is Australian, but if you didn't tell me, I would have thought that Buddy was Samoan. You know, I'll put it to you this way. Was it just me? Or for like 2 seconds when Bronson Reed was attacking him, I don't know why. For like a split second, I thought it was Samoa Joe for a second. But it was obviously Bronson Reed's not Samoa Joe. What the fuck? But, you know, they do their thing. They beat the fuck out of Roman Reigns, and they pretty much acknowledge that Bronson Reed is going to be the fifth guy going into WarGames. And while they're sitting in the ring, you have Jay. They're all bruised. They're all broken down and all this other kind of shit. Roman did, before this all happened, he did somewhat get the upper hand. You know, you had Tangaloa, who, by the way, is it just me? I'm starting to notice this too. Maybe that's why they didn't give him the tag team championship. I mean, I'm starting to notice, again, I'm not a wrestler, but you know, there's certain things you pick up on, like the triple threat match with the women, where you can clearly tell that Bayley and Candice LeRae was kind of coaching BFAP through the match. You can tell, and this isn't my first time seeing this, Tangaloa sucks. I'm starting to notice that also, bro. The way he moves around the ring and the directions he take, I don't think he is communicating appropriate enough with the wrestlers in the ring. He looks really, really lost out there all the fucking time. He looks like he fucking sucks also. You know, especially this spot, like, it looks like all he had to do was throw Roman Reigns into the ring post and Roman was supposed to reverse him, but he didn't get his footing right, and it looked really, really fucking awkward. It wasn't anything bad, just something that you noticed, right? And here, hang on for a second, they're coming back from the break. Let me see if they're going to confirm it, because I think I know who they're going to talk about as far as who they want to call, but give me a second. We're gonna come back to this after this segment right here. Give me a second, hang on. Surprised they're doing the tag team title match right now, but they were just recapping the whole bloodline stuff. I'm gonna talk about Kevin Owens in a little bit, but I kind of got a feeling who they're gonna call. I think you guys know who they're gonna call too, right? Especially with Bronson Reed being there, Roman Reigns, and the look on his face. It's gonna be Seth Rollins, isn't it? It's probably gonna be Seth Rollins, which I'm fine with. I don't think Seth has anything going for him right now. Bronson Reed's gonna be in the match, so you know he's gonna want to get his revenge. It's going to be a tie-in with the Shield stuff, because obviously that's going to be the case, not to mention all the stuff that was happening earlier this year at WrestleMania. So this is a big spot for someone like a Bronson Reed. You know, you're tying in with Seth Rollins, you're tying in with the bloodline stuff. So hopefully he makes an impact in this match, because that guy's the future. And I can't stress this enough. The more and more I see them, the more and more they look like the Terror Squad. So let's talk about this for a second also. So Kevin Owens, he was in his car, right? they're pretty much talking about recapping all the stuff that happened earlier with Cody Rhodes wanting Kevin Owens to come, and he wanted to fight him and stuff like that, right? Well, Kevin Owens was said that Nick Aldis called him and he asked him to come to the show in Utah next week for Smackdown, which Kevin Owens happily obliged to. He pretty much said that, hey, all the stuff with Randy and what I'm gonna do next week, I'm just doing my job. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay? I'm doing what you guys want me to do. I didn't do this to Randy Orton because I wanted to. Like all this stuff, I'm the bad guy. No, I'm just doing my job is how he's trying to rationalize it, right? Which is fine. You know, he's a psychopathic heel now. That's pretty clear as far as where they're going to go with this. And I'm very curious as to how they're going to, because clearly it's going to be Kevin versus Cody for the WWE Championship at Survivor Series. I am curious how they're going to kind of like, maneuver and kind of make it make sense as to why Kevin should get a WWE Championship. Shouldn't be that hard, obviously. They somehow kind of finagled Randy versus Kevin last month. So it shouldn't be that hard. Or I guess it would be this month, or earlier this month. So I am curious as to how they're going to do it at Survivor Series. But there's only one way to find out, and that's gonna be at Survivor Series. But it looks like also that they're gonna probably do the women's match for the main event. Hopefully not. Hopefully they somehow come back to Cody Rhodes, because that is where the key is supposed to be at. Or at the very least, do the whole Seth Rollins. It's pretty obvious Seth Rollins is gonna be that guy. Just announce the fifth guy before the show goes off the air. Don't end it with the women. That's so fucking lame. But we'll get there when we get there. Right now, it's going to be the Street Profits versus the Motor City Machine Guns. Let's see what comes out of all this. Hopefully, it's something good, because obviously the Street Profits aren't going to win the Tag Team Championships, but they could be winning more, and that's more time, and that's people actually giving a shit about them. So we'll see where they're going to go with this after the Tag Team match, and I'll get back to you after this. Okay, we didn't get a turn from the Street Profits, but I like the aggression, though. The aggression between all the teams, like this kind of gives me 97 WWF vibes, where everybody was like super pissed off with each other. Like everybody's just extremely mad. Like I love how the Street Profits, they're mad as fuck right now. Tommaso Ciampa, he's pissed off at Johnny Gargano. The Motor City Machine Guns are like, what the fuck is going on here? I like it. If they're not going to break up the Street Profits, I'm perfectly fine with this whole little triple threat tag team feud that's going on right now. But with all the confusion with Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, and I still don't know where the Street Profits align right now. I like this, man. I'm very curious as to what this triple threat. Now, I'm not foolish enough, and I don't think anyone should be foolish enough to think like this is going to be on par with Edge and Christian or the Dudley Boys or the Hardy Boys. That'd be fucking retarded. Don't ever even think that's going to be the case. But at the same time, it's not as if they can't course correct and make their own path going forward. You know what I mean? I'm okay with this. I want to see how this feud is going to take place. The Street Profits, Motor City Machine Guns, DIY, but it's not all this indie bullshit that they're trying to play up. No, they're super pissed off with each other. This is, now that I bring up the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, and the Dudley Boys, this is sort of kind of how WrestleMania 16 was led in. I don't know if you guys ever follow the feud in itself, but the whole thing was the Hardy Boys getting a #1 contender shot against the Dudley Boys, right? That was the whole thing, especially with the Hardy Boys beating the Dudley Boys at the Royal Rumble and shit like that, and everything that was going on. Edge and Christian kind of felt like that they were being looked over, right? And Edge and Christian at the time were baby faces that were transitioning into heels. And the whole stuff that was going on with the Acolytes and the APA and Terry turning on the Hardy Boys and screwing them over, and Edge and Christian, I remember Christian was backstage when he was looking at how everything was playing out with the Hardy Boys. He felt kind of bad that they won the match in that way, and Edge was like, no, fuck that shit, bro. We deserve that victory. That was ours. No, we want the tag team championships. That's exactly what the fuck should have happened. Very similar to how the Street Profits are acting right now, and very similar to kind of how Tommaso Ciampa's acting right now. So we'll see how it's going to play out as time goes on, but I like what they're doing here. I fuck with this. Very reminiscent to how the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, the Dudley Boys feud first started to begin with. So we'll see how that goes on. But the Street Profits, they did, I guess, I guess they won the match technically because Tommaso Ciampa did come out and he did attack Montez and Angelo, right? So technically they won the match, but obviously, as you guys know, team titles can't change hands on a disqualification, and that's what happened. Tommaso Ciampa came in and he screwed over the Street Profits. Johnny Gargano came out when Tommaso was arguing with the Motor City Machine Guns, and essentially Tommaso Ciampa shoved Johnny Gargano on the floor. He was like, I want the titles. You don't want the titles. I want the titles. You're acting like the boss, but you don't want the belts like I want the belts. And he went to go check up on them while the Motor City Machine Guns are helping us, the Street Profits. And then Angelo Dawkins just decks Alex Shelley in the face, and they're pissed off. They're like, what the fuck was that all about? And everybody is just pissed off with each other. I love the attitude. I love the fucking aggression. They're coming back from SmackDown right now. I'm trying to see whether they're going to follow up on any of this. They're talking about the signs of the night bullshit. Let me see if they're going to follow up on this real quick. Hang on. I typically would press pause on this, but let's see where this goes from here. But yeah, just the aggression, I fuck with it. I fuck with it. You know, Angelo Dawkins walking out the ring with Montez Ford. Montez not really doing anything. I fuck with the aggression, and it looks like they're not going to really talk about this. It looks like they're moving on to the next segment. Hopefully they come back to this in some way, because I am very much intrigued by this. But if they do, we'll talk about it in the next segment. With that being said, continuing on. Okay, so that's a hell of a way to go off the air. Okay, that's exactly what I wanted. That's exactly how I wanted everything to happen, and everything occurred in the manner of how it occurred. Another fantastic episode of SmackDown tonight. So, I just added it to the title right now. You see the title for what it is. Obviously, you're probably seeing the title now, but I just edited it like 45 minutes into the recording, or I guess what would have been like 37 minutes, 36 minutes, depending when this timestamp is. Okay, so this match between Naomi and Nia Jax had no right being as good as it was. I thought this was a fantastic match. Now, I will say, for me, at the very least, I still have a problem with the champion not closing out the show. You know, what's really the point of Cody Rhodes and his booking if you're not going to have him close out the show? It feels like he's secondary to everything that's occurring on the show currently at the moment. And honestly, after this main event, it kind of looks like he's going to probably be third, because it's very obvious what this main event is going towards, right? It's very obvious what everything is happening right now is going towards, and I love it. I fucking love it. But like I said, Naomi and Nia Jax, they started off slow, and you had backstage Bayley and, you know, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. You know their history, in particular Bianca and Bayley, who, by the way, they're being set up for the semifinals, because it's pretty obvious that Bianca's going to win that triple threat next week. So this is the women's WarGames match that they're going to build up to, huh? Now, let me say this again. I don't want to take anything away from Nia and Naomi, because they started off slow, but as the match kept progressing, it got better and better and better. I can't stress this enough, man. I don't know what the fuck Nia, or who the fuck she's been training with, bruh. She has got an you can't even recognize this Nia Jax versus the old Nia Jax from an in-ring perspective. She is like, bruh, like fine wine, bruh. She got older and she got just phenomenal in the ring. She's good. She's good. She understands. She knows how to wrestle now. I will give her credit. This isn't the first time she's had a great match, and I mean this year in particular, this is by far her best year from a in-ring perspective, and honestly from a character perspective also. All credit in the world to Nia Jax, but not take anything from Naomi, because she did her thing in this match too. But like I said, these girls, they're beating the fuck out of each other. No botches, nothing significant. They're just wrestling a fucking awesome match. And as you started to get towards the finish, these girls are pulling out all the stops. You got a nice little pop-up headbutt from Nia, which I popped for. I thought that was actually a fucking awesome spot. And then Naomi hit a fucking crazy suicide dive on her that moved the whole barricade going backwards. You know, they're kicking out of each other's finishers. You got a nice pop-up Samoan drop from Nia Jax. Naomi with the split leg. Nia kicking out. The crowd started to get really, really into it. You got some story tied into it also. Liv Morgan and Raquel Gonzalez backstage attacked Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. And then out came Tiffany Stratton, who was trying to help out Nia Jax before Bayley came out there, and then she attacked Tiffany Stratton to kind of even the odds, right? It looks like Naomi was going to go for another maneuver before Candice LeRae got involved and pushed Bayley into the ring post, which caused Naomi to lose her balance. And then Nia Jax, she body slammed Naomi off the turnbuckle, right? Then she dragged her over to the corner and gave her a bonsai drop, or the Annihilator, and she retained the belts, right? Or her belt in particular. And this is obvious. So this is the War Games for the women, right? It's clearly going to be Nia Jax. It's going to be Liv Morgan, Raquel Gonzalez, Candice LeRae, and Tiffany Stratton, right? That's going to be the 5. And then you have on the opposite side for the women, it's clearly going to be Bianca, it's going to be Jade, it's going to be Bayley, it's going to be Naomi, and they're missing a 5th person. Who do you guys think that 5th person is going to be, huh? I'll give you a hint. Woo! Bro, it's pretty obvious what they're setting up for, bro. Charlotte Flair is going to be the 5th person on that team. No doubt about it. She's going to be the 5th person on that team, which is good. You know, that's going to be a nice way to most likely build up for, presumably, I'm going to assume it's going to be either... No, I think it's too close to the Saturday night main event. I think they're going to probably build this up most likely for because I don't think they have a pay-per-view in December. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. So it could be a possibility where either Charlotte is going to face Nia Jax in the Royal Rumble or at the Royal Rumble, or Charlotte herself is going to be in the Royal Rumble, which if she is, she's going to win the Royal Rumble. So, you know, brace yourself for that, though. That's going to be the women's match. And, you know, credit where credit is due. They could have went off the air like this because honestly, that was a good match. That was a solid main event, and it was the women's championship on the line, and it was implications for War Games tying up all together. So honestly, even though I still think Cody Rhodes should have been the one to close out the show because he is the champion, and you would think that's the path that they should go down, because otherwise, why would you put the belt on the guy? But this is just an ongoing problem in professional wrestling nowadays, where they don't use the world champion in a credible spot to be the face. I mean, he's supposed to be the face, so he should always main event. They never did that shit with John Cena. They never did that shit with Roman Reigns. But speaking of Roman Reigns, that's why I'm not too mad. So it was already good enough that they did the match in the way that they did it and what they set up going forward, which give credit where credit is due as far as Triple H is considered, how he's tying up all these women's stories together to make it make sense going into War Games. Not to mention, you're going to have problems with Bayley and Bianca and Jade, obviously. Where is Naomi going to stand in between those girls going into the show? And then obviously, you know, Charlotte's going to probably play a fixture into all that also. And then obviously on the heel side, Nia, she just lost the match against Liv Morgan because of Raquel Gonzalez. Candice LeRae is trying to vie for the affections of Nia, so Tiffany Stratton's going to have a problem with that also. Not to mention, clearly, Bayley and Bianca are going to have those semifinals match, so that's going to tie in all together. Again, I will give credit where credit is due. At least this match going into War Games for both the men and the women, they make perfect sense. I will give credit where credit is due. The stories make absolute sense, and there's a bunch of tangible things going in between each one that makes it even more, you know, credible. But then we add more layers to the War Games match for the men, because before this went off the air, Roman did not call Seth Rollins. He called the wise man. He called Paul Heyman. And as it's going off the air and he's calling Paul Heyman, Paul Heyman's number is disconnected. And you know, I don't know if it's disconnected or if it went directly to voicemail. I really couldn't tell, but essentially he couldn't get in touch with Paul Heyman. And typically when you call Paul Heyman when it was, you know, Roman Reigns, it just picks up right away. But with Paul Heyman, this time it didn't pick up right away. I still think Seth Rollins is going to play a fixture going into War Games. He's going to be the 5th man on that team opposite of Bronson Reed. But it is very curious as to what's going to happen with Paul Heyman. As I talked about before, you know, Paul Heyman lurking in the shadows, I truly think he's going to screw over Roman Reigns and the OG bloodline. I don't know if it's going to be at War Games, but I think he's going to eventually screw him over. I think he's still going to eventually screw them over. And honestly, with this being a sign of things to come, this Survivor Series it's really shaping up to be a damn good fucking show. You got 3 three solid matches that I could think of right now going into this that has a lot of story tied into it. The WarGames match, obviously, with the Bloodline stuff. The WarGames match with the women, that again is looking very credible too. Looks like Charlotte Flair is going to play that Randy Orton role as far as returning. She's been gone for damn near a year now. Again, it's pretty obvious she's going to be the fifth woman. And the stuff of Cody and Kevin is very personal going into this. This is shaping up to be a fucking damn good fucking show, man. And then you got the Paul Heyman stuff also tying into all of this, man. Man, oh man, oh man. Then we got Cody and Kevin next week, so they're going to have a face-to-face going off. I will give credit where credit is due, man. Triple H, at least building up to this, I can only assume because he's noticing that the viewership number and the ratings are going down. He's starting to react to it. He knows that he has to do more in order to help out SmackDown to build it up. And this show did an excellent job. Not to mention all the little undercurrent stuff going on right now at the moment. You might even get a triple threat tag team match for the tag team titles with the Street Profits and the Motor City Machine Guns and DIY. And they have a credible story going into all this also. I fuck with all of it, man. Because if that's going to be the Survivor Series card, I fuck with it. You got the men's WarGames match, great story. The women's WarGames match, great story. The Cody Rhodes Kevin Owens match, great story. Quite possibly the triple threat tag team match, great story. And I gotta presume the Raw men's championship of Gunther versus, I think, Damian Priest. Don't know how the story's playing out with that, but it's the world title match nonetheless, so it's implications tied to that. We got a lot of stuff to look forward to going into Survivor Series. So credit where credit is due, and another excellent episode of SmackDown, man. So let me hear your thoughts down in the comment section below in regards to how you felt about this show. And come on, man, gotta hear some stuff, man, especially with, you know, the stuff that's tying into WarGames and your opinions in regards to Charlotte Flair, because it's pretty obvious she's the person who's going to most likely be in that WarGames match. But let me stop talking right now. I'm going to get the fuck up out of here. I'm going to leave it up to you guys to have the conversation down below in the comment section. So as always, my name is Millennial Smart, and I'll be catching you guys later. Another dope episode of SmackDown. A deuces and a P-eyes.